happening, world? Happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Cognac Confessionals. I'm your host, Deshaun, here at Where Media Meets Studios, in conjunction with VJ TV, Feral Films, History in the Making Entertainment, Keep It Cloudy Productions, Camouflage. Shout out to the Venus Lounge. Shout out to Drop Knock. It's Friday, September 20th. Got a good show lined up for y'all tonight. Let everybody introduce themselves as always, starting with my co-host to the left.
Hey, what's up, man? It's the infamous Pharaoh of AKA Feral Films.
Okay, move on. Yes. Yes, everybody. I am Bad Dexter. Yes, Bad Dexter, aka Sexy Dex. I'm a filmmaker here in downtown Oakland and ready to put Oakland on the map with our creative projects coming up.
And AKA the group chat terrorizer. He terrorizes them in the group chat.
Yes.
He allows no delusions.
Ever.
You post something stupid, Dex is coming.
Yes.
Okay. That's what's up.
Right. Big on punctuation too. Make sure you know how to spell.
Definitely.
So how'd you get started?
How did I get started? Well, always loved film, production, theater. Started off with theater as a kid, and then moved on to television and film post high school, and then got into producing, being behind the scenes, and being my own talent in my own productions. Recently, like a few years ago, around 2018, 2017.
Got you. So this has been a creative path you've been on for a while.
Yes.
Now, what do you prefer? Behind the scenes or in front? Or how it flows?
Honestly, I prefer in front of the. I prefer in front of the scenes. I prefer in front of the camera. I would love if everything was facilitated for me and I could just show up. I would love that.
Amen.
That would be amazing.
Amen.
Oh wow, that would be dope. Everything's just handled. Oh. Yes.
However, though, when you're on the independent level, the philosophy of if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Literally will permeate everything,
top to bottom. Absolutely.
But as an independent, though, that is one of the things, though, is you always wonder, man, if I could just create and show up and flow, how great could this thing be? But we get bogged down because, like I said, if we don't take care of every minute detail, it won't get done. And sometimes we're collaborating with people who say they have the same passion as we have, but then they're not putting in the same passion, and you're sitting there like, you got to be almost a one-man gang,
right, in
a collaborative art form.
Yes, that is very frustrating, especially when you see a vision bigger than their own, than they see themselves, because there's so many collaborations I've been a part of where I have so many amazing ideas, let's do this, let's do that, but they're so minute, tunnel visioned, and they don't see the bigger picture, and it just, can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay, it goes to shit.
Yeah, free speech, man. Free speech.
You can't see the fucking forest because of all the damn trees.
Right.
We don't hold back language on here. Shit. So, tell the people. So, where you from?
Yes. So I'm from the Valley. I'm from Dublin originally, born and raised, same house, 30 years. I just moved to DTO. Yes, my first time on my own, my first apartment, like 6 months ago. So it's been great. Yes, adulting has been marvelous. Apartment Poindexter. I'm Dexed in the city. I'm loving life. It's great. Moving and grooving out here.
That's what's up. So you're saying you worked on many projects in collaboration. So give us a few. Who you worked with?
Yes, so I was with the Steve Jobs film circa, that was around 2015. I was a part of that film.
The one that was, I think it was Apple. It went on Apple.
I don't remember, but it was the one when Ashton Kutcher played him, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was that one. Yes, so I was a part of that one. And then a bunch of short films. There was one short film that went to Cannes around, I think it was 2022. And then from there, I've just been working on my own projects. We're still editing, working on those. So scripted and unscripted series and feature films.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Yes, indeed.
So, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, I know it's a night and day difference between working on a major production, such as the Steve Jobs film, and then doing your own productions. But which one do you prefer? I know for the fame and the prestige, of course you want to do the bigger things, but sometimes some people say working on the hands-on on the independent projects really gets their creative juices flowing.
Right. I've honestly, from being a part of big productions, I've learned so much, and I would honestly prefer more intimate, smaller, straight to the point. I would love if we're filming something and it's literally us three in the scene, us three are there, the camera person, that's it, literally. And once that record light turns on, we're literally straight to it, straight to the scene. Once we're done, we're done. Cut the mics, cut the camera, we're out, so there's no wasted footage, there's no wasted time, and also too, you're paying by the hour or whatever's clever, no wasted money, all of that stuff. So I learned so much because I've literally been working on a passion project of mine, a documentary that I'm working on, and I've been working on it for around 11 years now. So learn. Oh, yes. So it's based around a group of creative men in the Bay. So we're all of color. We're all, different walks of life. And we have models, actors, singers, rappers. And it's just the day in the lives of us, our interactions with each other, who we know, what we're doing. And you see us grow up over the years. We started in our mid-20s. Now we're all in our 30s now. And I'm the youngest one. I literally just turned 20. Now people are in their mid-30s, moving up, so... Can't wait to show everybody, and then things might be moving and grooving to where seasons after that and everything after that could be continuous, and people won't have to wait so long to see what's going on, because I'm really passionate about projects that are made here in the Bay Area, because everyone comes here, they shoot here, and they leave. Nothing stays, and it's not continuous, and it's just not exactly. We're not filtering in and out every single talent that's out here.
What's up, Trap?
Exactly. So that's my goal. That's my point. Dextertainment.
Well, yeah, and that's another beef that I have, is that a lot of people, even homegrown folks, look at this as a stepping stone. Like a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, this is cool, but I just want to make enough a name for myself to get to New York, Atlanta, or LA." We're like, this isn't a stepping stone. Do you know, y'all do realize this is the number 5 largest media market in it? You don't. This ain't the minor leagues.
Right.
This is something.
That's crazy.
But if you treat this like a minor leagues, not be professional on projects here, because it don't really matter. I'm just using this to get a name so I can get to LA. In the immortal words of Cat Williams, they got 10,000 of you already in LA.
Yes.
Ooh. No one is looking for another you. But here, you could really build something.
True.
Why don't you build this instead of, what was his name? Robert Rodriguez. He did Spy Kids and all that stuff. So a lot of people don't think of him as this great philosopher, but he truly came from a true independent background. He sold plasma.
Oh, wow.
And did those. You see Berkeley sometimes they have like, oh, it's this new medicine for Alzheimer's. So we're going to lock you in a room for 30 days, give you this medicine and monitor your this and that, and we're going to give you these thousands of dollars. He sold plasma, and he did allow himself to be a test rat for that, to raise money for his films.
Wow.
So this man is truly dedicated to filmmaking. But one of the things he was saying was, instead of trying to see what you can sell, sell what you can see. What do we have? It's 3 of us. We got a table. We got this podcast. So we're going to make a movie. We finna make a movie, a psychological thriller about 3 of us in a podcast. Like, you ain't got to go all over the world. What you have right here, right now, that's what we're going to make a movie about. That's what we're going to make our industry about. What we have right here. Exactly. And if we got a 72 Plymouth in the parking lot, then it's the adventures of 3 men in a 72 Plymouth who do a podcast.
Right.
As opposed to, well, I'm not going to be successful unless I go to LA. No. The game is wherever you at.
Right. That's crazy. If you look at Summer Jam,
Cordell in the comments.
What's up, bro?
If you look at Summer Jam in the Bay Area versus the East Coast, the Summer Jam in Oakland is literally before you become famous or you fell off. But the Summer Jam in the East Coast is always popping. It's always big names. It's always been a big thing. Always that. So why can't we have something like that? People that are always continuously popping. Why can't we have that?
They'd have Jay-Z and Nas headlining Summer Jam, and we'd have
Trey Songz one year. I was like, okay, it was Trey Songz, Lil Wayne one time. I'm like, oh wow, okay.
We always have people that when you tell somebody, hey, so and so, he got that one song. You got to remind them who they is.
Also, too, another thing to piggyback what you're saying too. Also, is how people
stop, Mark Anthony.
People care about the craft, right? And what you're showing. So we don't need a big budget to make a great film. We can make that back, because you look at Get Out, that was a low budget, and you look at he made back 5 times the budget, right? We don't need $1 trillion. We don't need 10 locations. We can make it happen for less than that, and that's what I'm doing.
Well, you want to talk about a low budget movie that sold like a motherfucker?
What's
Blair Witch Project?
Oh,
that was bananas.
Man, and how we all thought it was real, and then we see her at the VMAs sitting in the front row. That tripped me. I was like, I thought you were missing and you died.
Exactly.
But now, shout out
hey,
to...
right, Vaughn said to you, like, Blair Witch. I'm like, exactly.
Shout out to Jordan Poole, because, man... Yeah, Jordan Peele. Jordan Poole is used to play with the Warriors. But Jordan Peele, I mean... Truly a creative dude, man. I'm always looking forward. I wasn't quite on that last joint he did with Keke Palmer and them in it.
Yeah.
That was the cure for insomnia. But
I don't think I watched all that. I don't watch everybody's shit.
But apparently he got a new thing that's dropping for Christmas this year, and anytime they put it could just be a blank poster, and it got his name at the top, and my first thought is, I'm there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember when Get Out came out, it was filled to the brim, sold out, all black people.
It was clever.
Get Out was great. That was a masterpiece. That has you thinking this and that, but
Come
also
through,
too,
chill, man.
But also too, you got to remember each of his films. You can't remember the last one. Each film is its own individual thing. Because when I went to go see Us, I was so confused because I kept thinking about Get Out.
I loved Us.
Right, because I kept thinking about Get Out, but Us was way more simpler and not as complex as Get Out. Like, it was just straight to the point.
But it was a wild twist.
Right, it was a wild twist, but it was way more simpler, and it wasn't.
I mean, that's the type of things I'm into, like movies like that. My main man M. Night Shyamalan. Some people be saying he hit or miss, but it's like the boy made a bad movie. Let me tell it.
Good bad or bad?
He ain't never made a bad movie. Let me tell it.
Oh,
okay.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning bad meaning bad. Because even the things that people be like, oh my God, what was he thinking? I be over there.
Wait, did you see Trap?
I haven't watched that yet.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, not yet.
Because I heard that might be one of his misses.
And the one with the plants and stuff. A lot of people be like, but it's like this. He's so
the plant
clever.
movie, I remember that one, but that was Earth telling you what the fuck don't happen.
He's so clever to me that even when he misses, I'm over there. Like, they be like, nobody liked this. And I be like, actually, I just like a clever movie, man. You gotta give me a twist. I don't care if it's straight hood drama. I need a twist at the end. I gotta have that.
I love a good mind fuck. I love a good psychological thriller that just fucks your mind. Because I used to be big on slashers, but now the psychologicals came out. I'm big on those psychological thrillers and a good dark comedy. Yeah, for sure. Those two.
Because what was that joint with Kaiser Sose in it?
Usual Suspects, one of the greatest movies.
I tried to lay somebody else to watch that, and they kept texting me, "Blood, what you got me watching?" And I'm sitting there like, "This is the
Usual Suspect is a cult classic. That is the fucking movie.
What's that about?
Oh man,
it's
Usual Suspects is it's about a group of guys that get put together to do a job. There's intrigue, there's murder, there's mystery, there's a boss, an underboss, there's the boogeyman. It's
like Reservoir Dogs, kind of. So like more.
Okay, better. I would have to say it's better than Reservoir Dogs, man.
Okay. And Reservoir Dogs is not a bad movie.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is good, but Usual Suspects is the shit.
Okay. That was a good era. period
Yeah.
of just movie making.
That was the
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
The 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
Yeah,
There.
so-
Heat.
We used
So
to
many
watch.
good movies came in that time frame.
We used to watch Usual Suspects a few times a week.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be shit you just kept like, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute.
Because there's things that you missed the
Yeah.
first time you watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those, and then walk straight at the end.
Okay, do you feel films are good enough now for you to do that?
It's
Like watch
starting
them
to come
over and
back.
over and still be
Yeah.
interested?
Nah,
They're starting to come back.
I'm sorry.
But
no.
there was a
I'm
down
a
period.
firm no, because I think a lot of even shows, and it's just me personally, it's my personal motherfucking opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You're fine if you won't die if you don't agree with me. You will. You're gonna die anyway. But I don't wish nothing on you. But I think a lot of times when I'm watching shows, movies, whatnot, I'm sitting there and I'm start calling out what the fuck gonna happen, and this some shit that I have. I'm like, oh, I see what's gonna happen with there. I see, oh, this motherfucker finna fall in love with her. This gonna be some bullshit. It's so predictable now that I'm like, motherfuckers in love. I don't know who pen game or even the you can have a great ass storyline, but the acting just be like, it's like I'll use. It's not the power show that's finna end this season.
Ghost 2.
Ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm a fan of all of it, but some of the stuff just was this season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, what the hell? I'm still watching the
Some
show.
of
I'm a
it,
fan
yeah.
of the show.
They
Don't get me wrong.
They lost me in the second season.
But I'm like, some
Oh,
of the
wow.
stuff don't. I'm like, what the hell? But it's like,
just
whatever.
It's too far
The
fetched.
second season of the 4th show.
Yeah, it's too preposterous.
Oh,
Now,
it's
with
good,
that
but
being
there's
said,
other shows that
I'll miss an episode of Raising Canaan.
I'll raise a cane.
That was good. That was good.
You know?
Great
I
writing.
don't miss an episode of that. But the
All
other
of them
power
had great
shows,
writing.
you could come drive nails under my eyelids, and that'll be more entertaining to me than watching that. But I
Okay.
don't never miss an episode of Raising Canaan.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, I actually rewatch a lot of those episodes. It's very entertaining. But the rest of the Power Universe,
Well, he's
I'll watch
well.
it, bro.
Well, 50
I'll
said
watch
he
it.
said the Power Universe can keep going. Do you guys feel it can? Because I
Yeah.
feel like honestly, what more can we get from Tariq and like
well, you
what
can
more
start
can we
spinning off
get?
into different characters.
Okay, Brayden, that could be
Yeah.
interesting because he's more interesting than Tommy. Because that fourth
You
show,
can even
I was
take
like,
different routes with
Well,
different things.
especially, I think the thing too with Raising Canaan, for example,
mm-hmm.
everybody is we know what everybody waiting for
Right.
when they meet Ghost and Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes.
what they waiting on.
Yes.
When Kanan when they all meet, that's what everybody
And
waiting
tied
for.
in. And who is Breeze?
Yeah.
All those type of things. So there's still unanswered things that they could probably stretch a couple more seasons.
Speaking of, my apologies, cut you guys off. Did you guys ever think about that when they started Raising Canaan? Because they still haven't introduced Ghost or Tommy or
right.
Tasha or anybody.
Yeah.
And
So
then who is famous? I'm like, they throw this random ass Puerto Rican boy in here. Like, who is he?
Hey, I think the famous character was a shot at a Canadian rapper who got his ass handed to him this summer.
But
just to be,
But no,
so far off.
but they're
Just to
saying
be-
though is that if you go back to when Kanan is first introduced on Power,
Uh-huh.
there was a Puerto Rican cellmate, and at one point he got up. They showed the clip. Remember, dude said something stupid, and Kanan put him in a headlock and was like smacked him around, like
That
shut
was
up. And
famous.
people are saying that was
Oh.
famous. That him and Famous was in jail together.
Wait, but then also, too, to throw it off, Tommy, I forgot, Tommy and Ghost and them, they're way younger than Kanan, too.
they're young.
He
So
put
I'm
them
thi-
in the game.
So he was like in high school and they were like 6th graders. So
Yeah.
like I'm like,
That's
how
what
did
I'm saying.
that?
They got a while to even.
But they're also
put
saying
that in
that
the-
Breeze, he ends up double calling Breeze. So some theories, because I'll be watching on YouTube, that Unique, now that Unique basically came back from the dead,
Right.
that Unique becomes Breeze and becomes Kanan's mentor. That's when Tommy and Ghost is introduced as runners, but then Kanan eventually double crosses him, and then they double cross him. That's some of the fan theories.
Okay, this fan theories, or you know somebody, you know a
No,
writer
that
at
was a fan
Stars, you have
theory.
Stars
I be
connections.
really watching this shit because I can't sleep at night, so I'll be up watching a lot of YouTube
Anthony
and
said-
how this fits into the Star Trek universe.
Okay.
Eventually, Kanan is Captain Kirk's great grandfather. Catch
Okay.
me on YouTube with the wildest theories.
Right.
Right.
Deep dives.
So
This nigga Mark Anthony.
he said he's looking forward to Moonlight Part 2. Nah, we're not.
Greatest Oscar moment ever is when Moonlight actually won the Oscar. They had
And I
the
don't
wrong
watch
folks
that
up there.
Wow. Did you guys see Moonlight?
Nope.
No.
I honestly, aside from like the homoerotic stuff, Moonlight was an amazing film.
Shout out to
Amazing
Ram.
film with like a $2 budget, 3 locations. An amazing film.
My partner Ram had told me that
Shout out to
Moonlight
Ram.
was a
History
great
in the
story.
making.
Yes.
But I do know this much. I saw their second film, which was If Bill Street Could Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here to tell you, and I've seen some of the clips of Moonlight and the Bill Street Could Talk. What's the cat named? Barry Jenkins?
Mm-hmm.
As far as look and pacing and everything like that, when you got to put him up there with some of the greatest of all time. Because I know the aspects of Moonlight that I saw was so beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And also, If Bill Street Could Talk. But here's the thing.
Can you refill?
I'm not good. But here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand until you get into cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
What they teach you on how to shoot and how to make people look a certain way doesn't work for us. With the way our skin tones reflect light, the way we absorb light and this and that, you got to have a different eye to shoot black people.
Right.
That's why, what was that, Luke Cage?
Yeah.
The first season of Luke Cage was so beautiful. Parts of Snowfall was so beautiful because they actually brought in people who said, "Hey, to like black people, you don't do this. You gotta be an artist."
Right. And then paying attention to different complexions and the angles and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because him and I would definitely have a way better different lighting than your lighting would be good for you,
But
and
that's
different
something that a white
size.
cinematographer wouldn't even trip on.
Right.
And if you tried to say it, it'd be like, "Are you guys making this racial? It's lighting. It's lighting." No, actually,
Where the fuck are the
melanin
lights at?
absorbs.
What
Melanin
the
absorbs
fucking light
light
for niggas?
different than
Hey,
non-melanin
Thaddeus, go
people.
to the back and give me the light for the niggas.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, also too, because white people have different complexions too.
Exactly.
They're olive, there's fair, there's olive. They're
Exactly.
close to our complexions too. So like, what do they do with their lighting? Is it all the same with them too?
True.
When they're shooting with Vogue and all of them,
Right.
right? Is it all the same lighting when you guys do them? When you're doing
Well, you gotta
Arabia
remember,
and India
You got
and
the
Italia.
makeup- You got the makeup on for many years. Makeup artists all use Revlon, and for black people, it was Egyptian number 23. So if you look like Vanessa Williams with the singing career, or if you look like Vanessa Williams from New Jack City,
Right.
no matter which Vanessa Williams you was, they slapped the same makeup on you and had you sitting there looking like, and you was either gonna look like Bozo or you was gonna look cool. No in betweens.
Right.
It's a hard place to be back then.
Oh,
Third
you're
and
whispering. Are you
corner,
into
sticky
ASMR,
gang.
Deshaun?
Huh?
Are you into ASMR? You're whispering.
No.
Have you seen those?
No.
Third Acorn says power
Oh
is a
man, when
universe
people
like
they do all the
Marvel
different
without the
sounds
fantasy.
and the whispering, and
That's
they do
true.
the mukbangs and all those stuff. Oh, those big followings. You probably could make some cool coins off those.
No. I have to check into that.
But let's say it's 10 years from now.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, 2034.
You've balled to this level. Everything that you've ever hoped for, dreamed up, right?
Okay.
And now you got all this bread. And here comes the powers that be to bring you down.
Who, the IRS?
The Hollywood elite.
The elites.
Whoever says, "Hey, that guy's making too much money without us.
Mm.
We're going to have to put him in his place or play ball."
Honestly, because I am very spiritual, so I would say aside from like prayer and faith and security and a long clip on my hip, I honestly don't know how to protect myself from them. Like, I would definitely love to take suggestions.
Donna's gonna be at the door like,
Right.
"Hey, we need the dog." We know.
There was a guy named Un Rivera. Y'all might know him as the guy that Jay-Z supposedly stabbed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one time he did an interview and he said, "Oh, the problem with Suge Knight is," he said, "I'm a tough guy. But I got partners that if I did too much, they'll punch me in the face and be like, 'Man, get your shit together.' He said the problem with Suge Knight is Suge Knight never had nobody to punch him in the face and say, hey, man, get off that bullshit. And at the time, I thought he was talking idiotic. But all these years later, looking at Suge doing the 28 years, looking at the downfall of P. Diddy and all that, I started thinking, you know what? I guess no matter how big you get, you got an empire, this and that. If you don't have somebody who can say, hey, man, what's wrong with you?
Or, you know, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
Yes, I would say off that, I would say people have had a lot of conceptions about Suge Knight. There was a documentary for Tubi that Suge Knight did, and it paints him in a whole different light. He was spitting some of the realest things I've ever heard, this and that. And I was like, whoa, okay, maybe he's not as bad as we all think. Maybe Marion isn't the worst person in the world. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, okay, like really understanding him, you know what I mean? And I would love to see you guys that. You guys can watch that and look at, you know, Suge in a different light. But, you know, definitely there's that.
Funny thing about Suge is remember they used to have those memes like, oh, Suge's in prison, look at Puffy out here dancing, maybe Suge should have been in the video. And now Suge probably gonna get out before Puffy
Yeah.
I mean, well, he also did run over someone. And
Well, that's the only reason he in jail.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Right.
I actually know the guy that he ran over.
That's horrible. Rest his soul.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what? He ran 2 guys over.
Okay.
I didn't know the guy who actually died, but I know the other guy.
Yeah.
And
Boom.
And I'm here to tell you, this ain't snitching. Everybody know what time it is. If Suge says Bone had a gun, and that's why he was smashing up out of there, he ain't lying. Because Bone was there specifically to regulate anybody like Suge who might show up. Now, as fearsome and notorious as we know Suge is, imagine, this is a multi-million-dollar Hollywood production, right?
Right.
Now, imagine how raw, nigga, you got to be. That we gonna shoot in Compton. And you know what? You are gonna be the guy that any threat, killers, anybody come, they're gonna have to deal with you. So how raw you think this dude really is? Bone reputation speak for itself. And so Suge say Bone had a gun and that's why he smashed out, he ain't lying. Because that's why Bone was there. To prevent niggas like Suge from coming to put pressure on somebody. So you know they ain't gonna have no punk out there on the front lines to protect. We shooting in the middle of Compton. No gangbangers or nothing can put no pressure on us, extort us, do anything because we got you. That means you ain't Reverend so-and-so. You a frontliner.
Is security not there to protect us? Should we get some
regular security? You can go get the most security you want in LA. But if this is supposed to be so-and-so from Rolling 60s, this is so-and-so from Pyru, this and that, your security gonna be like, hey man, you just paying me a paycheck. Will you pack up and leave? I still got to deal with these dudes. I'm going to stand down. So you got to have somebody that's going to be out there that's going to be, hey, these dudes under my protection. You want to press them? You got to come through me. Like I said, you ain't got no church deacon out there playing that role. But on the thorough gangster. And he was there to stop Suge. So if Suge say, man, this nigga got a gun, I had to smash off. He ain't mine.
That sucks. And he's partially blind, so he probably didn't even see dude. And we also have natural blind spots.
Because the dude that he actually killed was actually partners with Suge. The dude that, remember when Ice Cube had Heavyweight Records and he had what's the boy, Mr. Short Chop, and he had all that, and they did a soundtrack to a movie. That was all on Heavyweight Records. That dude actually owned Heavyweight Records. He was partner. He wasn't just a random dude that was out there, and him and Suge was partners. So Suge drove over his own friend to get out that parking lot. So that tell you the mindset that Suge was in. I got to go. What type of nigga would strike that level of fear in Suge?
Okay. Pharaoh, who are you? You know everything and everybody and everything that's going on everywhere.
But I mean, Bone name ring from the peace treaty. There's a reason why when they went and shot Training Day, to be able to go into those particular projects, which is called the Jungles, where they shot Training Day, to be able to go into Training Day, they had to have a cat like Bone with him. A lot of movie productions. There's two things in L.A. Like, remember in Training Day when they was trying to drown him in the bathtub?
Mm-hmm.
Well, those dudes that was drowning him in the bathtub, they're called Suspect Entertainment.
Okay.
And what's his name? Hector from Fast and the Furious came out of that group, Suspect Entertainment. If you want to shoot in Mexican gang-affiliated neighborhoods, you got to hire people from Suspect Entertainment. You want to shoot in East LA, this and that. You want to shoot anything that got vatos in the background, you got to hire actors from Suspect Entertainment because they're the only ones that can go into those neighborhoods and negotiate a pass for you. If you want to shoot in black gang-related neighborhoods in LA, you have to hire Bone because he's the only one that can go into those neighborhoods, Crip or Blood, and get you a pass to shoot in there. I don't care if you Steven Spielberg. The way the LA street politics is, you want to shoot in Mexican neighborhoods, you got to holler at Suspect Entertainment. You want to shoot in black neighborhoods, you got to holler at Bone.
Okay, so if we're a filmmaker, so i.e. myself, I'm a filmmaker, if I want to shoot in these neighborhoods, how do I get in touch with these people? I have to find a random person that might know this person to hit him up, and hopefully he gets back to me.
In LA, when you shooting, to get permits to shoot in certain areas, you got to have what's called a location scout.
Okay.
If your location scout is actually worth their money, they already know the lay of the land. And they go in there and talk to whoever needs to be talked to.
Right.
And they go. Like American Me, films like that, Blood In, Blood Out, films like that. You had to hire certain dudes. And if you look in the background, the random vatos in the background, even on Snowfall, this net, you realize it's the same vatos that you saw in this movie, this and that. Danny Trejo might show up.
Yeah, he's a real motherfucker. He's a real.
Do you know Danny Trejo is like almost in his 90s?
Yes.
Danny Trejo's old.
Yeah, he's like 85, 86. Dude,
but I'm like, he doesn't look like he's damn near 100 though. But he's like ageless and timeless. Like,
yeah. But then when you look back and you realize he did 20, 30 years in prison, so he had to be 40, 50,
then
and he made movies 40 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, that's some shit. So, for you, yes. I mean, we on the other areas of movies and whatnot. What are you working on anything? I know you was doing a podcast and whatnot. So what's happening?
Well, yes. So during my boredom in COVID, I was doing IG Live interviews. So that was something to keep me productive, this and that, stay unbored. And right now, I've just been, I did study, not podcasting. Journalism, radio, television. Right. I did all that stuff. But, I definitely, right now, I have been working on a current events show, What's Hot with Alan Dexter. I've been doing that. And I would love to interact, interviewing more people, this and that. That'd be cool with who I'm talking about. But otherwise, from that, my apologies, Deshaun. I got off track. What did you ask me?
What's basically going on?
What I had going on? Okay, yes, what I had going on. So that's what I had going on.
The yak kicking in.
Yes, because I was talking. I was like, hopefully I'm not rambling. Hopefully I'm answering his question. Okay, right. So yes, that's what I'm working on. Yes, and then so the docuseries I was telling you about, guys, earlier. It's called Dextrous. So that's in post production. We're editing that. Yes, my passion project, my baby, with the cast of all black male creatives are working on that, and I have a bunch of other projects I'm working on. I have, a few films I would love to, release, that I'm working on. And we're doing thrillers, Halloween's coming up. I want to do a twist. I would love to do like a dark Christmas movie during Halloween. Yes. And then maybe like a twisted Halloween movie during Christmas or something like that. Right. You know what I mean? I want to shake shit up, Dextertainment, you know what I mean? It's here to stay, this and that, it's officially a thing, Dextertainment is a production company. I started that in around 2017, 2018, with my brother and my cousin, all 3 Point Dexters. We came together and, my cousin came up with this amazing name and it's stuck, it's trademarked, it's here, it's a movement, and literally all Bay Area based, you know what I mean? Okay. Literally Bay Area based.
Now let me ask you this, you seem to have a lot of creative ideas and stuff like that. Now, do you sometimes feel though that, okay, I got all these great ideas, right? And I know this is thing, but also I have to, because of this, I have to pander, I have to make Boys in the Hood number 27, or you know what I'm saying? Do you feel any limitation, or do you like, or you don't mind it, or how do you feel about that? The box that they would want to put you in as a black creative.
Honestly, it's weighing options. You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, I would love to be on a sophisticated type of hype. Like a Bravo, on a Peacock, on a Netflix. I would love to be sophisticated like that, but also too. Look at all the money that Zeus is making. Look at the bags they're securing. You know what I mean? It's like you look at that.
Favorite shows, the real baddies or whatever.
I hate them type of shows.
Right. But look at the money that's coming in. You know what I mean? The subscribers, they're making millions let's talk about monthly.
What conversation did we have before we went on air?
Oh gosh, which one?
Chasing the bag.
Oh yes, chasing the bag. Yes, at a point in time, you get too old to chase the bag. We got Natalie; she was chasing the bag almost 20 years. You know what I mean?
When do you chase
Shout out to Natalie.
Literally.
When do you chase peace of mind, just a comfortable life, a comfortable existence? If you chasing the bag, you're gonna do anything to get the bag. It means you're probably gonna compromise your morals. You're gonna sell out.
You definitely gonna compromise.
Absolutely.
You're gonna do a whole lot for a bag that's not guaranteed, and that if you put yourself in certain positions, you'll end up like to take that nigga, and your bag because you chasing the bag and you start feeling yourself.
Who's taking that nigga? Who's that?
Take that.
Baby oil bandit. Baby oil bandit, the Diggler.
They putting extra with that baby oil.
We can go into that.
I
want to get into that.
Case.
Yeah, I know that. I want to get into that too. But I'm just saying, when you get into these, you doing everything for the bag. These, and they like, put out only like to his question, put out this type of shows and that, and you gonna be in this element, this low vibrational shit, and you gonna be on that shit, which is gonna a lot of times it's gonna be bullshit, and so now you dealing with bullshit, and there ain't no toilet paper around. Right. So who's gonna clean you up? Nobody. Right. You need to have somebody that's gonna punch you in the face and keep you on your fucking shit. And if you in them environments, 9.5 times out of 10, that motherfucker don't exist. There ain't no toilet paper. That's why they keep oily shit around. Why? Because it's smooth and it's slippery.
Okay, actually, to go off that, with you guys, with your podcast, do you guys have like brands? Or you guys? Well, not to be deep your business, but you guys have like
I don't do this for the bag.
Okay.
It's for the culture.
Yeah. Okay. I don't do it for the bag. I don't have a boss.
Okay, you want to keep it that way. So if there are brands that are coming to you, you more than likely you would say no to like all of them.
It depends. I don't do it for. Don't get me wrong. I'm comfortable already, but everybody will love more comfort. But I don't. If once you start doing shit for the money, you lose yourself. You lose a whole bunch of shit, and you can lose sight of what your purpose was. And I ain't saying I ain't broke. Far from that, motherfuckers. So don't nobody think, this nigga. No, I got more money than probably a lot of motherfuckers. But that ain't my purpose. My purpose ain't the bag. I make money in my sleep.
Okay.
Passive income is
that dog chain around your neck. Does that help with your bag in your sleep? Is that where your bag in your sleep comes from?
No.
Okay. No. We all take a sip.
Yeah.
I sleep comfortable every night.
My thing is that like for instance, I had wrote a film and it was inspired. I was like, you know what? It was about a group of some sisters and they was AKs and Deltas and some trials and tribulations they had to go through, right? But like these was all educated women, AKs and Deltas, or like each one that I've ever known in real life was like, that's a cool woman. And the company called me and they said, yeah, we want to produce your script. Okay. I'm like, yay! Oh. They said, but
always a but. ...
Could you make them a little more ratchet? And I'm like, hey man, these is like, I know you because you're one of those small hat people. You might not be necessarily as familiar with the intricacies of our culture, but if you find a ratchet AKA or a ratchet Delta, they usually really stand out because, like, wow, they usually don't have ratchet ones. I'm like, I intentionally made these characters because I'm like, these is the elite of black womanhood. And you want me to make it ratchet? And the guy was like, yeah! Then we could really we could really sell it. And I'm sitting there like, and I was gonna be, and it was really one of my favorite scripts I ever wrote, but I didn't want to compromise the integrity of it. And now 2 years later, I'm still struggling to get it made when the bag was on the table. If I'd have been willing to. And I've done business with that because I wrote other scripts where it was ratchet, so I've done business with that company since then. But every time we try to circle back to that script, I refuse to make it ratchet. I refuse to dumb it down because I had a particular vision for this. And so, like I said, it's unfinanced, as you say. The boss, because they was providing the money, wasn't accepted, so I refused to have a boss on this one. So it's still unfunded.
It's sad because I would love to see more, a different worlds and Dear White People,
and that's what I had in mind.
There were some good shows,
right? Literally Dear White People. I love that they're collegiate and they're literally the vocabulary in that series. Oh man!
And I had a company that was willing to be like, "Hey, we're gonna fund this, man. We're gonna give you the bread. We'll fund this, but you gotta put that." You got to make them a little more ratchet. I'm like, there's no room to really make them ratchet because these are all sorority sisters of certain levels, like AKAs. Like, I know there might be some, I know so-and-so, she was AKA. Well, no. And this is even before common law, but anybody who's ever been to a college, the AKA, I know there's a stereotype AKA is supposed to be the prettiest chicks on campus, and now that might not necessarily be true because they open that, but there is if you go into a HBCU or PWI, the chicks that's walking around representing AKA,
right,
at least publicly, are going to be on a certain standards. The chicks that's walking around representing Deltas, that we look within our own families, if someone, like my sister Michelle is an AKA. If you have AKA, and I have cousins that are Deltas, if you look at AKAs and Deltas, they do conduct themselves a certain way when you see them in public. They're perfectly groomed. They're, there's a certain,
right.
If a woman says, "Oh, I'm this," or "I'm that," just like if a brother says, "I'm a Mason," or "I'm an Alpha," or this and that, you start looking at them like, okay,
how you carry yourself?
Right. Exactly, because you already know when the person says they're affiliated with these certain brands. You, even if it's subconsciously, you put a certain level of expectation on them of how they carry themselves.
You're a representation of your organization.
Like as I grew up, all the men, when I grew up, the men who were all Masons were older, respected men. So if somebody had that symbol, if they came and said, actually the sky is purple, I'll be like, oh, okay. Because
you is kind of off today.
Right, because everyone that I met that represented this thing carried themselves in a way that me as a shorty was like, okay, I want to be like him.
Right.
So, respect. So when they came to me and said, "Oh, we'll cut you the check, but you just need to whoop," I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
That sucks. Yeah. Right.
And that's what I was going back to my question when I asked you, like, hey, like you got a lot of ideas and stuff like that, but man, what happens when they try to put you in that box? Hey, yeah, that's great. That's a great idea you got. But why don't we make it where the characters are actually in South Central and somebody's on there? You're like, wait a minute, that ain't the fucking story.
Right.
That ain't the story I'm trying to tell. Y'all already got a million cats who told that story already.
Like, oh, go ahead.
I would say probably, honestly, I might have to pass because I'm really big on the art. I'm really big on the art, and as I'm getting older,
integrity.
Exactly. As
like
I'm getting
when
older,
he said,
intellectual property.
"I'm comfortable."
Right.
When you can honestly say that you're comfortable, integrity comes before everything. But then I look on the thing and I see, like, I look at Sexy Red videos from 6-7 years ago, and she was really trying to spit, and it went nowhere.
Right.
And now I see Sexy Red flashing her tits on Twitter and twerking and bragging about having STDs, and everybody like, yeah, go Sexy. And I'd be like, if y'all really knew the history of Sexy Red, y'all would know that ain't the image Sexy Red was representing
Right.
6-7 years ago.
Right. Or Glorilla. She grew
Yeah.
up, born and raised in the church. Her real name is Gloria
Gloria.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
That's her real name.
Yeah.
So it's like, literally, that wasn't selling either. I totally see what you're saying. Right.
Right.
But it sucks too, the machine, are you willing to keep your integral intelligence, or are you gonna, move and groove with, the machine that is, Hollywood? And it sucks, but I might have to be I might have to be the Homeless to Hollywood type of projects versus, the Zeus's and the highlights. But also too, what I'm realizing too, since everything is negotiable, maybe like differentiating and separating. You know what I mean? So you have your project that you had, I'm not making them ratchet, but maybe if they want to ratchet, okay, let's do a whole separate script, whole separate project, whole separate thing, so you still could get some type of something.
Actually, I've done that. Like,
Okay.
I've done 3 ratchet movies, but this over here is like my holy grail.
Right.
And sometimes I'll be looking like I do have film crew, grips, this and that. So I got to keep bringing in income to make sure that my people eat.
Right.
Hell, I don't want to sell out.
That's difficult. That's difficult too. Like making that coin to fulfill your passion project, versus not selling out. Because if you sell out, everything's fine. You don't have to worry about anything. But like when you have your integrity, it's like it's so hard. It's so hard. I know that for sure because I've been in hospitality almost 20 years. You know what I mean? And now me being done with it for a little bit and finally taking that leap. I'm believing in myself. I'm not relying on the 9-to-5 check. I'm literally jumping off the diving board, learning to swim myself. Literally. Like, put me in the pack of wolves as a sheep. I will lead them hoes. You feel me? I will lead the pack.
You know what's funny is that Robert Townsend talked about this type of stuff in the 80s on Hollywood Shuffle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, the game
That's
ain't
almost
changed.
40 years later.
The game ain't changed. It's just the players.
Mark Anthony is wild.
I know, that's why I was going to mention Mark Anthony's comment because, that's
and
my
Bug,
guy.
shout out to
Bug,
Bug.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm a representation of my organization. And don't get me wrong, I laugh, joke, I talk a lot of shit, but my deep core values to the heart. Ain't no coming up off my square. So it is what it is with me.
Let me play devil's advocate.
Uh-huh.
You're comfortable.
Yeah.
So some people would say it's easier to have integrity because you be like, you know what? Fuck these people. I could eat more with them, but I'm eating. You're already capable of getting it.
Uh-huh.
What if you wasn't eating? And this was the only way to really get it like how you want it.
See, it comes down to mouth
Who
to
you
ear,
are.
the way who you are, what you was taught. Because once again, representation. Everything we do is a representation of. First and foremost, I'm a representation of my parents, my grandparents, and whatnot.
Right.
So legacy and
so we
lineage.
come from some. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's family got riffraff and shit, but we do have a legacy.
Right.
So you do have to, and don't get me wrong. A lot of people don't think that deep into this shit like they should. Remember, you got certain shit. You got family crests and shit, emblems and shit. That's a representation of your people. We all are. If people really got back to being a representation of who the fuck they are, and stop being who your representative of
Your
on
avatar?
social media, your avatar, because you're representation and a representative are 2 different things. You'll get that at 3 a.m.
Well, that goes back to remember the running back Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
And when he first
Oh
got
my!
signed,
I know where you're
and
going.
he was in a wedding.
The wedding dress,
right?
that was.
And,
oh my god!
In fact, this is when I first met Rob Hankins.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
we
my
was standing
brother.
There, we was working at Alpha
Yeah.
Bates, and somebody was like, "Oh shit, he need to get that money." He was on there with a wedding dress, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this older cat said, "I don't give a fuck how much they paying me. There's no way in the world my sons or my grandsons would ever look and see a picture of me in a wedding dress standing there with a white man. I'll just be poor and broke before."
Yeah.
Because that's more important to me than any bread.
Right.
And I was young at the time. I was still in my 20s, and I was like,
Right.
But that was dope. But now, especially as I get older, I felt what he was saying. Now I was like, you know what? Ain't no bread worth mine. Ain't no bread worth my integrity.
You sleep at night.
If the roll of the dice means that if I don't take this choice, then I'll never have the Rolls Royces and the Palace in Bel Air. I have mentally accepted that. So be it.
Right.
Because
And what makes you
I'm not-
happy? right? What makes you happy? You don't need all of that, right? You can't take it
peace.
with you. You know what I mean? And what's your
mind.
tombstone gonna say?
Chasing peace of mind and quality of life.
Right.
As long as I'm able to sleep at night and look in the mirror and know that I ain't did no diggler shit.
Yeah. Now, Boog says, being the grandson of an Eastern Star and a Mason, he totally understands where you come from.
I responded. I told him, thank you, bro. Exactly.
My grandmother was an Eastern Star.
I represent my organization.
And they was the type of ladies that would, on Saturday and Sunday, on Saturday, so-and-so in jail, they'll go up there and put money on their books. So-and-so in the hospital, they'll go. They was tireless workers for anybody that didn't have. Oh, so-and-so mama, because it was the 80s, so-and-so mama get on dope. They would go around there. Now, remember, some of them on canes. But they would go around there and make sure them babies, man, I saw them go and take chicks' food stamps from them. Because you ain't nothing but go buy that stuff with it. I'm going to get these food stamps, and it wouldn't even be kin folks. I'm talking about like chicks, and they would go fight them, take their food stamps with them, because they was going to feed the kids. And be like, you can go be out there on that stuff, because everything was that stuff. That stuff. That stuff could be heroin, cocaine, that stuff. You can go be out there on that stuff, but I'm going to make sure these babies don't eat. And they really would take care of several households.
That's awesome.
And stuff. So, to me, when I grew up, that's where the Eastern Star was. And like I said, and the men who was all Masons, so it was a certain level of built-in respect that I had for that. So anybody that might come and say this, that, and the other, I'll be like, nah, that was the backbones of the community when I was a kid and stuff. So Boog says he understands where it comes from, but Mark Anthony says,
bring me the wig. I see it.
He said I would make Martin Luther King a gangbanger and a pimp if they pay me enough.
And you already know on that.
You look like you weren't quite feeling that.
I mean, honestly, when you're down and out, honestly, because you think about it,
human,
when you're not comfortable, right? Because, like, honestly, if I was in Deshaun's situation and I was comfortable and I didn't need to do all that, okay, maybe no, fuck your check, you know what I mean? But also, too, homeless to Hollywood, it's like, okay, maybe I might do this, that, and the third, to get there and that, but to not have to do that again.
Martin Luther King, a gangbanger and a pimp.
I mean,
I'm laughing.
MLK has some dirt behind the scenes.
Exactly.
But do we want to dig into that?
We all human. I talk about it. I call everybody on their shit how it is. Yeah, he had bitches. Yeah, he was doing his thing. Hello. Call what it was.
I mean, but also too, can we talk about the Masons? I mean, you guys are black. I mean, you're black, and that's not a black thing.
I'm not black.
Melanated.
Okay.
I'm
an
enigma.
We're indigenous.
I'm gonna give you this.
Okay, please.
Because this is grand opening, grand closing on that subject.
Okay.
Because I heard what you said. Everything you taught or shown by people who aren't you isn't the truth. But if you believe it, you believe in a lie. So I took that in the context of what you started to say was, but you're black, and I correlate that to you thinking that something started somewhere where it didn't start. And like I said, it's a grand opening, grand closing on this discussion, but unlearn everything you've been taught.
Do your own research.
Okay.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
We are native to this land.
I completely understand that.
Thank you.
We're native to this land. We're not black, we're melanated.
Okay.
We're sovereign citizens.
So
the laws of America do not apply. No, I'm not going to take you down the rabbit hole.
Oh God! Try that late night checkpoint.
Natural sovereignty.
Oh God!
Oh, I will. I'm waiting. Sometimes I run red lights.
Lord.
Sometimes I run red lights.
Right, but Pharaoh said that if I ran this red light, I could tell you that.
And I wasn't finna hit him with the long as we identify the color, we put him in the box. I wasn't gonna hit him with that speech. I'm pretty sure he understands that already.
In fact, you do not have to carry ID with you because you are a traveler, and you are Moorish. Nah, I'm clown.
Good grief. Put me up on game.
We got Dexter got to take a drink on that one. Like, okay.
I'm behind.
I want to. So when we talking about the bag, we get like the mindset, people chasing the bag, doing shit. It's like the shit we dealing with, we all laughing about now. We all know the current spiel, and this is another major
You talking about
distraction.
Mr. Black Excellent?
You talking about Diddy?
Yeah.
Good
He's been chasing the bag since like the 80s.
Yeah.
Man.
But
He got the bag, so why was he still wild?
let me give you a disclaimer though. I'm gonna do this what I always
That will
do.
be working.
So all everybody out there, melanated, black niggas, however you identify,
Oh,
because they're my audience. I talk to everybody.
okay.
Even non-melanated people, everybody, look. This is a fucking. I get it, and all that shit, and I didn't even end on the jokes and laugh. I shared some memes today because it was funny, but I do want y'all to wrap this shit up by 11:30 tonight. But it's a distraction. Pay attention to the shit that's going on because you got the quote unquote Trump assassination attempts going on. You got this taking the news, all this shit. What else been happening? You had some more school shootings. You got a ton of. Here's the thing. You got tons of children that are missing, exploited, but you're not hearing about all that because we too worried about 1,000 bottles of baby oil and 478 dildos found. Who gives a fuck?
Wow.
Why would you have 700?
How do you
hold
know
on,
all
wait a
this
minute.
information? I didn't even hear about this stuff, and I'm in the now.
I'm just saying.
On TMZ, man.
All I'm saying
Oh
is
my gosh.
they make sure you get the sensationalized details of shit because we gonna run with it. Don't get me wrong. I tell jokes all day. I'm laughing, but I'm being serious right now. But I'm still gonna tell some Diddy jokes and some all shit. I'm going to. But that's what we do. We laugh at shit. When you're able to make a laugh at some uncomfortable shit, that means you're human and you can see past it. But there's some real shit going on that all this shit is a distraction from.
Yeah. Always.
I would say, yeah, nobody cares about the truth when the lie's more interesting.
Yes.
So,
Right.
there's
Way
that.
back in the Wide Earth days, they used to say.
Listen, if
Prince
paint,
the Myth.
look, you know that they say you rather watch paint. You don't want to ever watch paint dry.
Right.
But if paint didn't dry, you'd never be able to go in the house.
The news cycle has to be filled up.
You'll get that at 3 a.m.
Wow.
The worst thing can happen.
Deep.
My daughter was a news journalist. It still is a journalist. And one of the worst things that can happen in the news is dead air. You got to fill it with something. Even if you got to present things in a manner that people are like, whoa, what's going on? Even though it's simplistic. Like, for instance, if you take, and please don't twist this as a defense of Diddy.
I'm not defending
But-
that nigga at all.
Devil's advocate sometimes
But
happens.
if you take out all the emotion and you really look at what I saw in the indictment, because the indictment is up now, right? I was literally sitting there saying, what's the crime? And somebody was telling me, I got a group chat that I'm in, and I'm like, what's the actual crime? Oh, he was sex trafficking, this and that. And I had to say, hey, I've been in the game for years. Sex trafficking has always meant you was a dude who took a chick and you pimped her, right? And you pimped her. And so Diddy was sex trafficking. No, Diddy was flying prostitutes in and paying them. And yeah, salacious details was it was male and female prostitutes. But at the end of the day, Diddy was flying in prostitutes and he was paying them and they was participating in these sex chats. Are we now, that's tricking. Are we now
also,
going to
not all of them were all willing, though. And didn't know
but
that
see,
they were
I'm gonna
flying
get
there
to that.
for that.
Well, apparently the prostitutes are flying in. They know what time it is. He's saying some of the people that he was flying the prostitutes in,
To play with, didn't know that that's why they
or
were...
they weren't with it. But here's
Right.
my thing: when you fly somebody in for sex and you pay them, you are not the one trafficking them. You are not a pimp. You are a trick. Now I understand if you tricking, there's pandering, being a John. That's a charge, but it makes it sound so much more salacious. It makes it sound so much more criminal.
Of course, because they
to
got to
say sex trafficking. But for many years, we've clearly defined sex trafficking as you are a pimp and you send women.
Right.
Now, the people you send women to aren't considered the sex trafficker.
Right.
Even though they're participating in sex trafficking, because you can't traffic somebody without a customer.
Right.
But at the end of the day, so to keep calling Diddy a sex trafficker, that's sensationalizing what's going on and makes it look so much worse. And then the other part where they say, and see, here goes the thing. I've been corrupted because I was too much in the streets, right? I can understand if you have you take a girl from high school prom, I love you, this and that, and then you beat her up and make her participate in these sex acts. Oh my God,
That's some such
right?
shit.
But I'm also of the mindset, and I could be a little corrupted, but if I made y'all two participate in some sex acts, and y'all like, oh my God, this nigga Pharaoh's a horrible human being, but y'all go outside, get in y'all cars, and go home. Now you're away from me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I call you again and say, hey, man, meet me at the Marriott.
Mm-hmm.
And you show up again at the Marriott. Either I come in there and beat your ass and all that, nigga, you gonna have sex and I'm gonna watch. Why'd you keep coming back?
Okay,
Like, did I hold you under gunpoint?
Wait.
Did I have you hostage?
Yeah, he had people at gunpoint. He was hanging people over the ledges
Okay,
of
but let's say I
balconies
got
up
you.
high.
We don't know all
But
the
also, too,
details.
what about
But-
the non-consensual stuff? People
But
that
that's
didn't
the
consent,
thing.
and he did force people
But
to do
here's the
stuff.
thing. Do we take a context? Okay, let's say I got you at the Marriott at gunpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I make you have sex with these women. Make you have just all kinds of sex. Keep having sex, nigga. More baby oil, nigga. Okay, but when you got home and got the fuck away from me, when I called you to say, hey, meet me at the Marriott Saturday at 3, and you showed back up.
But
Even if I pistol whooped you again and
Okay,
did all
can
this,
I be
at
devil's
what
advocate?
point is your personal accountability gonna come in that?
Okay, but what about the people that didn't?
Show back up. Are you still looking at them the same way?
No, they
Okay,
can allow
yeah,
charges.
Okay.
But if you have multiple freak
But-
offs,
here's the thing.
I
I'm
don't know.
gonna be devil's advocate, and once
Alrighty.
again, I don't know. Like I said, all this shit is a distraction, but I'm gonna entertain it for a little bit because I got.
because we are in the political
correct.
season.
Yeah, exactly. It's a distraction, but we don't know what goes on there, and everything is filmed. So now you can the term and possibility of blackmail because of footage comes into play of motherfucker. You know you on tape.
That part, that's not cool. Filming
So
without your
those things,
permission.
and once again, I'm
Okay,
just
but
being
we
devil's
charge
advocate.
him, but they
Hey,
keep talking
I-
about baby oil and dildos.
I mean, Diddy's probably mad because
sex trafficking.
he didn't get to go to no Rick James freak parties, and Uncle Rick was the master.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, what's this boy play for New Orleans? Zion Williamson.
Mm-hmm.
So he had the porn star Mariah
Oh yeah.
and Mariah Mills, and she was like, "Oh, he was paying me $100,000 a month to be on the retainer, like wherever city he was in, she fly in, perform all kinds of
That's
sex
big
acts."
tricking.
Well, he ended up, I guess, falling for another girl,
And she
got
wanted
pregnant,
to-
and cut her off, so she aired him out on Twitter.
That's some hoe shit.
But he was flying her in to different states purely for the purpose of having sex and have a financial retainer.
I'm sorry.
According to the new
Mm,
rules
lame.
that we're applying to Diddy, that's sex trafficking too. I know.
I get what you're saying.
I know for a personal fact. I hate to say it like this, but I know for a personal fact because I know women personally that Shaq used to fly into different cities, this and that. So according to that, if you
Stop
fly
saying people's
women
names,
in,
dude, before we get a cease and hoo.
Shaq loves me. If we fly these women in,
DJ Shaq Diesel.
if you flying women in and you're paying them to have sex, you flying them to Dubai. Oh, I'm going to Miami for the weekend. I fly this chick in. I pay her a certain amount of money. Well, according to the rules that we're now applying to Diddy,
Oh, I get
that's
what you're
sex,
saying.
that's sex
Right, I know,
trafficking.
I completely get what you're saying.
So we're gonna get a whole lot of cats about the paint.
Of course, the industry finna be on his ears because he gonna be in there singing probably, telling shit. It's gonna be a lot of shit. So, but and to
I don't think nobody but Cassie really had a case. Got a case against him.
uh,
Many people
it's
can sue
probably-
him as they
it's-
want.
Honestly, big prayers up to Cassie and her healing and her future. Seriously, because I can't even imagine the trauma that she has to deal with. Literally, dude. Seriously.
We need
Healing.
justice. We need justice for Kim Porter.
Like, for instance, they try
gosh.
to make you into, like, if you try to apply common sense to this, they'll make you like you're defending raping or something like that because they get to sensationalize it. But, like, even in the case of Bill Cosby, I saw one case where a woman said, oh, it was midnight. The actual case he got convicted on. And he went to prison for it. In her own statement, she said he paid for her books. He paid for some shit. She was like, oh, he's a cool mentor. And one night at midnight, he called her and said, hey, I'm in town. Come to my room. And when she got to the room, he was in a robe. He gave her some pills and a drink. And then she woke up and she had been sexually assaulted. Now, yes.
You take.
I see you on that. Why are you
You
coming
take
to his
sex
room
from
at
a woman.
midnight
Right.
after? 9 to 5 business hours, Monday through Friday.
No means no. So when she was passed out, Bill hit it. Okay, that's wrong because she obviously didn't consent to it. But I also got to say, at what point,
to the creepy shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Bill having sex with her while she was passed out is 100% wrong. But you also got to kind of ask the question. Bill was coming out the pocket, so Bill had already supported her. And then Bill says, "Come to my room at midnight." When she shows up at the room, Bill in the robe with the pills and the drink.
He still walked in the room.
You got to say, and then you take the pills and the drink. You got to say at some point, okay, where's the common sense? Bill met you, and you said, "Oh, I'm a graduate student at the University of such and such." Bill said, "Oh, well, shit, baby, let me help you out with your education." So now you accepted money from me. And then he calls you one night, "Hey, it's midnight in the thing." And you show up. At what point do you say, "Hey, wait a minute, Bill, what time is it?" Mm-hmm. So it's like you're defending raping, but I'm not defending raping, but I'm also like, okay, where's the common sense? Just like, oh, a woman should be able to wear a miniskirt. Of course. Yeah, you should be able to walk down the street in a miniskirt. You should be able to walk down the street nude, right? But if it's midnight and you walking down this alley in a miniskirt and somebody jumps out and rapes you, I'm not absolving the rapist, but at a certain point you got to be like, okay, this might
that's
not
a contradiction,
be.
Pharaoh.
This might not be a wise decision.
That's a contradiction because all day, every day, my body, my choice. That doesn't matter.
Right?
Doesn't matter. It's not right. It doesn't matter.
But see, I grew up in an era where date rapes and stuff like that wasn't reported because I seen women with my own eyes when I was a youngster say, "Oh, I went over there and this nigga forced me to do things."
No, hold on. No, hold on. Let me cut that off, Pharaoh. Okay, let me cut that off. Say for example, you go to Gay Pride, right? Hypothetical. Say you're in a white beater and some shorts. It's hot, right? Mm-hmm. Say for example, a gay dude randomly, because you're at Gay Pride, you're in a white beater and shorts, comes up and gropes you. Mm-hmm. Right?
That's wrong.
Oh, right. Oh, it's wrong, Pharaoh. Oh, it's wrong, Pharaoh. I can't grope you at Gay Pride. You're in these shorts. You look good in these white beater, but she looked good in her miniskirt walking down the down the alley. This and that. But I can grab her, but I can't grab you.
But I'm saying when I was a youngster, I saw both sides of that coin.
How do you see both sides of the coin? You literally just said, if you walk in the daytime in the miniskirt and I grab you, it's wrong. But if you walk down the alley at midnight and I grab you, it's not wrong. How is it not? It's your body, your choice. Don't touch me.
No, I said it's wrong, and you should be able to do those things. But you should also be like, hey, there's creeps out here. Let me protect myself.
It doesn't matter. Also, too, you could be walking down the alley at midnight as a nun and get raped. And they're head to toe covered. As a monk get raped, they're covered. Like, it doesn't matter.
Ain't no monks get raped.
See? Hello? Now, that's ignorance. We got contradictions and ignorance right now.
Monks don't get raped.
Stop it.
Pharaoh.
No, monks don't come
stop.
But no, what I was saying was...
Oh, my
God. Hey, Vaughn even said, nigga, stop.
Bro, this is your co-host, Mr. James. Do you hear him?
Let me finish. Y'all not let me finish the point. Well, the point what I'm saying is I've seen women come and say, "Oh, I went over there and he forced me to do things," and their own family was like, "What was you doing over there in the first place?" So I'm saying
that doesn't make sense. If we're just hanging out, we could be here right now. Oh, your homeboy right here right now. He's asleep.
That's my brother.
We're wide awake. Say if we do something, he sleep. He wake up. We're like what? Like, do you see that? Like, because we're friends, we're cool. Oh, it's not a big deal.
No, I'm saying
it's like no.
See, that's what I meant by saying if you're trying to give an alternative point of view, people would be like, "You're defending rape." No, that's not what I'm doing.
I mean, but the thing is,
I think you would.
I'm not saying you're defending rape, but I see what you're saying. Being like cognizant, like don't be in like something provocative this time of day. You know what I mean? Just like we were talking about training day. You know what I mean? With training day, you could say, okay, what she was wearing, her little Catholic girl outfit, she was walking around a bunch of crackheads, blah, blah, blah. You could say that too, right? Mm-hmm. But also too, you can't forget my body, my choice.
Yeah. Right,
it's consent. It doesn't matter what I'm wearing.
No
Because if you look at it, if the girls in the miniskirts and the crop tops are the fucking virgins, and the girls who are covered up head to toe are the sluts, the freak hoes.
Right.
So it's like, you can't think like that. It's all about consent.
Right.
Literally, we're going back to Pharaoh in a white beater and some shorts at Gay Pride. We're gonna always think about that when he makes his points about somebody walking down an alley in a miniskirt. Exactly. We're gonna think about Pharaoh, Gay Pride.
Maybe I'm wording it poorly.
You worded. Thank you. Okay.
Right.
I understand the depth of how you were peeling the layers of it. I understand that, but you didn't word it right.
If you showed up at Bill Cosby's room after accepting money from him at midnight, and he handed you pills and drink and said, "Come here and make yourself comfortable," that does not excuse you getting sexually assaulted. But at a certain point, you gotta be like, okay, what time did you think it was?
That's crazy. Actually, going back to Harvey Weinstein in the documentary, there was one girl that came out and she went into the room, knew what type of time he was on. She came in there, he was in the robe, this and that, and wanted to film him being inappropriate, right? And then, mind you, they're talking normal, and she filmed it on like a laptop or whatever.
Under the table, he's full blown she's wearing a skirt. In his hotel room, midnight, robe, this and that. He's like playing with her pussy under the table, like under her skirt. Then nobody sees under the camera. And she wanted to make it seem like, I told him to stop. I moved his hand away, this and that. But girl, still, you came there. He's in the robe. You're in the skirt. You still came in. You accepted the meeting. You're sitting there. And like he's playing with your pussy
under the table, you're moving his hand away, but he keeps doing it. You're still there. You didn't move. You didn't leave. So I see what you're saying on that type of tip, but also too my type of tip of what I'm saying and what Mr. James and I are still talking about.
Okay, can I say something that actually for those of us that live in the real world? Because I know the hypothetical.
We're still in the real world. Not us not being in the real world.
I'm gonna say this.
Have you ever been? Have you ever been in a situation where somebody said to you, when you be like, you ended up not having, whatever. And
if you would have, I know what you're finna say.
If you really wanted it, you would have took it. And
yes,
I
have.
Sitting there like, I had told one woman, I'm like,
yes, I have.
You said no, and she said, and you were such a punk.
I get that. I understand. That's why
you said no, so it was cool. And it's like, nigga, if you really wanted it, you would have took it. So you didn't want it.
I mean,
you be
that's
sitting there
creepy.
like, huh?
That's creepy, but also too with men too. Because say for example, if you're sleeping and there's weirdo bitches that want to suck you in your sleep and stuff like that.
You can do that.
No, Deshaun, there's still consent. Because also too, what if there's chicks you're not feeling like that? What if you're not feeling her like that though?
Well then,
you know what I mean? And she literally takes you literally passed out, you drink, and she literally moves you uncomfortably.
Same rules apply.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm such a nice guy though. When the word no comes out, he said no, and then next thing you know, you find out months later, nigga, you didn't really want it, because if you didn't want it, you would have took it.
I mean, that's true. That I think that depends on your.
Y'all had that. They've been like, why you didn't look at like, because I didn't want.
I mean, but also too, do you guys have that type of relationship?
I didn't want it to be a problem.
I don't wait at that point because I stopped. And then they on some. Oh, I didn't think you really wanted it because you would have took it. And you sitting there like, huh?
Okay. That's like some fetish shit.
I see you.
Because when you said the word no, because I was of a certain age,
no means
when
no.
Mike Tyson went to prison.
Yeah.
So I came really into my prime of, if it don't matter if it's 2 a.m, you in the motel, if she say no,
she got to come out with a paper and be like, I want to fuck. And just be like, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Okay, we're both signing.
I'd be like, because I don't want to read the room wrong. So I'm be like,
hold on, baby, let me get
I don't have those problems.
Right, literally. So you need to take a picture of that, sign. So both need to sign it, date it.
Yeah, fuck that. I ain't getting.
Because I came up really into my prime in the world at the same time that Mike Tyson was going to prison, and it was OG saying, oh, she wouldn't have went to his room, and there was other people saying, when she said the word no, he was supposed to stop. So okay, I don't want to go to prison. So if I don't care how hot and heavy it is, if she say no, it's over with. Even if she say, oh, what's happening?
I could be mad.
Nah, fuck that. I'm out of this.
There's different kinds of no's. There's a no, and there's like a no. There's like a no. There's a playful no. There's a playful no.
Okay, that's my time to tell you that's a contradiction.
That's the
when
no.
The word no comes out, it's over with. In fact, I'm starting to get dressed.
Cool. I shouldn't. Damn, glad I didn't.
Von Trapper says safe word required.
Exactly. I mean, so it's a slippery slope, but like I said, I get what you were meaning to peel the layers back.
Thank you.
I just wouldn't have verbalized it the way you did because
I blame it on the yak if I said it wrong. But if y'all get what I mean, you know what I mean.
You know, it's not how you say it; it's how it's received.
Right.
So a lot of things. So I know you don't. You ain't in all that. I know that, but I was just like, bro, I would, pull back.
It's the yak.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Yes,
but
the yak.
I know what you was trying to mean.
Right. Break it down for me. Go forward.
I know what you was trying to mean. But I mean, that's some. All this shit is distraction, y'all. There's real shit going on. You got a election of two people who
nobody would choose.
Right. And I had no idea there was more than one assassination attempt.
Oh, it was
wow.
Allegedly.
There's more than one. Allegedly.
If you look up, like for instance, me, I look up, there's nothing about Kamala Harris that would make me be like, yes, it's 300 million people in America. That's the one. But the damn show ain't shit about Donald Trump that I look at him and be like, oh, that's the motherfucker to be in charge. So now, what they say, the lesser of two evils and all that shit. But I'm looking at them and I'm sitting there, and I can understand Trump's frustration because he's basically now at this point losing to a chick who just keeps showing up smiling. She ain't taking no chances. She ain't really saying what she stands for on certain shit.
Yeah.
She's just smiling and not saying no stupid shit. And the people around Trump are saying preposterous shit. You got his number one advisor now is a lady named Laura Loomer, and she has a history of saying the wildest shit about black people. Then North Carolina is probably going to be the most important swing state. North Carolina, where the electoral college is lining up, North Carolina is a must-win state for the Democrat. You got a brother running for governor in there, and all the MAGA people got behind him because that's a tendency that they do. When there's a black guy who walks out and starts parroting right-wing talking points, the MAGA people really get behind him. One, they want to see, like, just in case Tim Scott, oh, look, we're not racist. We support this black guy. But the black guy is saying the wildest shit. So they all threw behind him, and they like, he going to win North Carolina. That's going to secure Trump in the electoral college. Well, now they've exposed where he was
his
on
messages
websites
and shit,
where he was saying stuff like, I wish slavery would come back. Oh, this and that. I watch transgender, like he's saying the wildest shit, and now it's like, oh my God. Well, if America really focused on the issue and you start saying, well, if I was thinking about voting for Trump as a black person, on one hand, he got a black man talking about he wishes slavery was back. And on the other hand, he's got a white woman who's saying that she's for slavery, she's for this, she's for that. Okay, even if I said, you know what, I like the shit Trump talking about. Well, the people that he surrounded himself with as a self-respecting black person, you can't vote for him because these are the people that he fuck with.
I'm so confused. Okay, if we look on like actions and words, all the issues people have with Trump, isn't it basically just him having a reckless mouth? Like, and not what he does?
Deeper than that. It goes a little deeper than that because while Trump himself has a reckless mouth, this and that, he has appointed people to the Supreme Court, and he's appointed federal judges who make sure that they strike down affirmative action.
Okay.
They strike down immigration laws. They strike down abortion. They strike down rules for overtime, things that will protect union protections, that will protect you. So even though, he's just a figurehead, he's also putting people in power who have an actual agenda to make sure that people that look like us will be second-class citizens. People that look like us won't have access to certain things to make sure they have equality. So you can say, oh man, Trump just in there talking shit, man. He cool and he gonna build a wall, this and that. But there's people who are empowering Trump who have an actual stated agenda to make sure that we stand in certain things. So based on that alone, even if you like the shit that Trump is talking, you can't put Trump in power. If you look at things like Project 2025 and stuff like that, these are the people, the Heritage Foundation, who are writing his agenda. Now, on the other hand, you got Kamala over here, and people can say, man, she problematic, right, for various things. But the people around Kamala who are going to actually enact laws and policies, you could say, well, they're not necessarily a friend of us as black men. but they're not necessarily enemies.
Mhm.
So you can also
They
say,
just
well,
silent
if you vote
enemies.
for Democrats, you ain't gonna get nothing. This and that. So why support the Democrats? Yeah, but if you vote for the Republicans, when you vote for a conservative, a person might be talking about family values, lower taxes as property owners. Somebody talking about lower taxes, lower payroll taxes, and those things like that. Those are beautiful things. But then if you get to looking at some of the other things, total immunity for police officers, no affirmative action, they call those type of things woke. And you start looking like, okay, these people against woke, they're for police immunity, they're for these harsher draconian sentences. You be like, okay, these people are actually really against me. So based on that alone,
Rabbit hole.
so based
Very
on that,
deep.
so based on that, so based on that alone, as a black man, you cannot support Trump, even if you look over here and be like, man, this why Kamala ain't for us.
Yeah.
But you got to look at the whole party, the whole agenda. At the end of the day, a centrist Democrat agenda
At the
is
end of
better
the
for
day.
the people than a right-wing Christian nationalist agenda. It just simply is.
I'm going to say this, and this is true fact, and you can study this shit. At the end of the day, a bird has two wings. That's why they call it left wing and right wing.
Mm-hmm.
You can, everything's in your face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same animal. You cut off the head, the body dies.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, as long as we keep putting ourselves in the mental position to keep picking our new leader out of only two parties, when anybody, as long as you keep, I ain't gonna go there with my language, with my analogy on it. As long as you keep getting shit stuffed down your throat, you ain't gonna be able to breathe.
True.
Call it like it is. How do you want your racism? Do you want it subtle, or do you want it blatant in your face?
I would prefer blatant in my face.
I get you.
I would totally love
The
to
reason
know
why
how you
the
get
reason
that.
that doesn't work is because blatant racism, all the things I got going, the credentials and education that I got going, the job skills that I got going, blatant in my face racism can't stop me.
Right.
I'm still going to live a certain quality. So sometimes some black men, when they are capable, they start feeling like, oh, that shit don't matter to me. So if Trump and them talking about cutting taxes and all that shit, that's gonna benefit me. So we go over there. But like the good book says, what you do to the least of my brothers, you do to me. So even though whoever's the president, I'm still gonna live
Right.
the same life. It's not gonna stop me. But I got hundreds of brothers right here in East Oakland that, if there is a Republican president, they're going to suffer. So it benefits me for lower taxes. Those things that the Republicans are talking about benefits me personally. But I have to be willing to sacrifice if I am a man of the people because of the people over here. Now, if I just say, fuck it, it's all about me.
I get mine in the morning.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's better for me financially, at least, if there is a Republican president. However, I'm for the people. So it's better for my people to not have a Republican president. So you would never see me saying for Trump. But unfortunately, some of our brothers have bought into the patriarchy so tough that when you really let some of these cats talk, they are really junior white men. They don't really have a problem with white supremacy. They only have a problem with their place in white supremacy. So if they're allowed to be honorary white men, if this and that, because the white men will tell you woke is bad, but if you're a certain age, woke was everything. Because hey, man, I'm woke. I know what's happening. I see the games y'all playing. I see how y'all doing the poor and the disenfranchised. But now they almost got you saying, oh, I ain't woke. Or if you say you woke, you gotta qualify it. Because they twisted the words and stuff like that, but the meaning of it. But it was woke brothers who crossed that bridge in Selma to get us these voting rights. It was woke brothers it was woke brothers who started boycotting companies to take down apartheid. Woke has always been a way when we say, hey man, I'm woke, I see the game you playing and I'm not going along with it. But now, due to right-wing campaigning for the last 30 years, you got people embarrassed to say that they woke.
I'm never
And
ashamed of my life.
and really, to tell the truth, every election comes down to 2 or 3 states. And they'll have you feeling like the country is half this and it's half that, but it's really not. They have gerrymandered these districts. Like, for instance, Republicans win Texas every year, but you go to Houston and Dallas, and those are in the 2 biggest parts of Texas. Those are Democrats, and you realize there's millions more Democrats, but they've gerrymandered the districts to the point where the Democrat vote is always suppressed, and that's why they always win those states: South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. And then you got to think about it. If the right-wing agenda was so beautiful, and the right-wing agenda is what the people want, then why are they blatantly cheating every single election, throwing out votes and this and that? Because the right-wing agenda is not actually the will of the people. And a Republican will barely sneak into office, lose the popular vote, sneak into office, and then pass all kinds of laws and load the Supreme Court and make sure that they stay in power, but it's not the will of the people. Mm-hmm. But because 70% of the police departments across America is white males, 80% of the legislature is white males, Congress, everything is white males, we are still going to have a white male agenda, even though white males are not the majority in the country, but the country is ruled still by the dictations of white males. And it's time for a change. Now, is Kamala the change? No, because she's just simply, what they say, meet the new boss, same as the old
boss.
But
politicians are just that, politics. But
politics, that's great. You guys actually care?
Yeah.
Well, I know he cares. You went through a whole spill, but honestly, I really don't give a fuck.
Well, like I said, remember what I said?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me who wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nothing is going to change in my life.
Right.
But I do consider myself, I care for the people.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like sometimes when us woke brothers and enlightened brothers, you could be sitting around with incense and playing like you too deep, or you could say, hey man, I know y'all don't even see the games that they playing. Mm-hmm. I do, so I'm gonna go fight on your behalf, even if you don't understand that I'm fighting on your behalf.
Right.
So thus, like I said, me personally, it won't affect me, and it not even benefit me to have a Republican in the office. But I think that the will of the people, and I think my people's, I'm willing to sacrifice for my people. So thus, I'm going to fight for something that's actually against my own interests. But it's no different than the white people in Mississippi and Alabama that vote Republican when the Republican is telling them, I'm going to cut SSI. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut disability. I'm going to cut Social Security. All the things that they need to survive, and they still vote for. So just like how they vote against their interests, I vote against my interest. Because it's more important. Because remember, were you in Alameda County or Contra Costa?
Alameda.
Okay, remember they just hit us with another tax increase in July? Like, they literally added 3 more thousand in properties. I got a call from the escrow company saying, hey, yo, escrow is about 3,000 short. I'm like, what the fuck you mean? Well, in July, a new tax increase kicked in. We need 3 more bands from you, so how you want to give that to us? Fuck you mean how I want to give it to you? I'm going to Disneyland. So I ain't got 3 extra bands for y'all. And then I'm like, man, somebody ought to do something. Oh, it was a parcel tax for the school, this and that. Hey, I'm old. I ain't got no goddamn kids in the school. Like,
that's a lot going on, and I can't relate. But also, too, to think about stuff like that, do you guys, like, care about more stuff that, like, affects you? Because me, honestly, if it doesn't affect me, I don't give a fuck. So, like, honestly, Trump, Kamala, they could fuck off. I don't care. You don't affect my day-to-day. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm literally focused on my day-to-day. Do you affect me? You know what I mean? And Trump, that stimulus affected me. The stimulus helped. The shit helped, you know? EDD during COVID helped. Like, you know, all that shit. Like, I don't care.
Unfortunately, I'm just old enough to have caught the tail end of the Black Panthers and a little bit of the Huey Newton, and grew up listening to Public Enemy, this and that. So unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because sometimes I'll be fighting. Like, what's the dude that was putting the holes in the wall to stop the
Putting his fingers in the
trying to stop
in the
to
holes.
stop that.
To stop
So unfortunately, sometimes we almost jousting with windmills, and sometimes I'm fighting a battle on behalf of people who don't even either realize that I'm fighting for them or they don't even care. So it's like it would be easy to be like, man, fuck them. But I was raised with enough of an influence because I'm a little older than you. Mm-hmm. So I was raised under influence to say, fight the power, and we got to fight the man no matter what. And W.B. Du Bois, like, the talented 10th got to go out there and instead of enriching themselves, they got to fight you got to fight on the behalf of your brothers. So I'm of that because I'm of that generation. Mm-hmm. Okay, like I said, and he's also a property owner. Yeah. It would actually be better for us to have the tax-cutting Republicans in office. But if I'm a servant of the people...
The boss eat last.
Right.
Just
now,
like
you being younger than me and not growing up with those particular influences, you got a completely different perspective. So neither one of us is right or wrong. It's just that you have a certain set of values of what you feel is important, and I have values that I feel that's important. So... hopefully it all comes out in the wash, but it would be because if you have a responsibility to your family, fuck the people, only the people that I actually know really should count. Well, then there's certain moves that I should make. So and sometimes I just hope I don't wake up one day and I'm 70 and be like, man, fuck them niggas. I should have got mine.
Right.
Nah, yeah,
that would be wild.
Right. The universe is undefeated, but
right.
I mean,
everything for a reason.
We've been at this for a minute.
But I can't say that you wrong for your point of view because this is your point of view. This is what you were raised in. This is the values that you developed. So this is what works for you. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Hopefully, though, is that my hope is that neither one of us gets proven wrong.
Right.
Or proven right.
Right.
Like, Dexter got fucked over. See? He should have been fucking with me. Mm-hmm. No, hopefully a common ground comes where, you know what, I was right to do it this way, and I was right to do it this way, and we both win. Mm-hmm. Whereas some people, because politics isn't like a football game, like the Raiders versus the Niners. One guy got to win, one guy got to lose. No.
Tricks.
Right.
What can happen that we can both win? Mm-hmm. And that's what it's really all about.
Yes, at the end of the day.
It's not a football game.
It's entertainment, lies, and alibis.
That was great. This is great. I would actually love, we should do this more. I would love to interview you guys on my platform. That'd be great.
Man, yes.
We pick your guys' brains.
Yeah, we can set that up one day. But before we head up out of here, I want to thank everybody for tuning in as always. Tell everybody where they can find you at on social media.
Yes, everybody. So I am Bad Dexter, BADD_Dexter on Instagram, Twitter, not LinkedIn. The Cognac. Okay. So BADD_Dexter on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. Yes, Bad Dexter on all those platforms. And then Alan Poindexter, AlanPoindexter on LinkedIn and Facebook. If you guys want to look for me, I'm everywhere. Yes, I'm your guy, Bad Dexter, Sexy Dex, Alan Dexter, Alan Mike, all that fun stuff, all that cool shit. I'm here, you guys. Yes, keeping the Bay on the map. We have scripted and unscripted series and feature films coming up. And literally, Bay Area is going to be like the new LA. Literally, we're going to be popping shit.
We're going to collaborate. We're going to make some things happen.
Absolutely.
And plenty of yak shall flow on the set. So thus, I make no guarantees that what comes out is going to be coherent.
Right.
But it's definitely going to be entertaining.
Absolutely. Completely and utterly.
Where they can find you at?
You can find me across the board, man, at Feral Films, except for LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, it's Feral Powell. But you can find me across the board. We're cooking up some new things. Meeting with Chrissy Cola this weekend to finalize the thing. And we just got a lot in store for y'all.
That's what's up. I think next week we got Sugar and Spice next week. And you know me, I'm Deshaun. You can find me on Instagram, Cognac_Confessionals, Facebook and YouTube, Cognac Confessionals, and you can always find me
Where?
in your bitch dreams. Why? Because that's where I reside. You know what I'm saying? But no, anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. Have yourselves a good weekend. Be safe. Make sure you get educated and make the proper decisions you need to make if you cast your ballot. And if you happen to be one of the people who don't vote, shut the fuck up. And did he do it? Didn't he do it? Did he do it? Did he didn't? Did he not do it? Did he do it? Did he not do it? I might make a song tomorrow. I don't know. I might drop that shit at midnight.
Absolutely.
Anyway, but hey. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Anthony, oh yeah, thank you, sir. Great show as always. Hey, don't forget, we still got you go. His picture's still here too that he bought.
Yep, it's right there in the office.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe. Hug the babies. Hug your loved ones. Take care of yourselves. Health is wealth. And if you're not here to take care of yourself, who's gonna do it? No one.
Right.
Well, no one will be able to do it.
You can't save the world if you don't save yourself.
Exactly. So, drink water, drink yak, drink salad. Don't eat the wrong food, but start doing healthy shit. And y'all work out those.
Absolutely.
Shit's out there that'll kill you.
Absolutely. 1,000 bottles of baby oil and not one box of Trojan.
Exactly. No prophylactics at Diddy house. I'm sorry. That's just sorry. No lambskins, no nothing, nigga. Damn. I mean, that's just weird. I'm sorry. It's weird. It's weird. But anyway, now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. Catch y'all next week.